Hi there, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric, your trainer. And yes, how are you guys doing? It's been a while. I haven't uploaded here for, the last time when I checked my YouTube channel, the last upload that I had was in April of 2019. That's almost 2 years ago. That's 3 months shy of 2 years, right? So it took me that long to create another video here, but I'm sure you noticed there are a couple of changes here on the channel. If you have watched my previous videos here, the first change is, of course, the logo, right? It used to be just a simple one, just an orange background with black font, English for Pinoys. But I thought, since this is a channel for Pinoys, the main audience, of course, is Pinoys, I decided, why not use the Philippine flag as background for the logo? Why not use it in the logo itself, right? So that way, the first time you see the logo, you'll already know that it's from the Philippines and it's for Filipinos, correct? So tell me what you think about the logo. If you think it's good, please let me know in the comment section. If you think it's not, then you can comment as well. I'll take criticisms, constructive criticisms. I'm a big guy, I can handle that. So yeah, that's the new logo there. So let me know if it's I need to change it, if you think that's fine. All right, the second change, of course, here on the channel is I have video now. It used to be just me speaking and nobody can see me. I had a couple of friends, people that I know, who have watched the channel and suggested that I use video, that I show myself so that people can actually see who's the person behind the microphone, which I think is a really great idea, because you have more rapport with the person speaking if you can actually see that person and not just imagining how it looks like, right? So yeah, so those are the two changes, big changes on the channel. I hope you like it. So today, for the first video that I'm uploading in almost 2 years, I've decided I'm going to talk about redundant word combinations. So these are phrases or word combinations where one word is no longer necessary, because that's the very definition of redundant. Okay, redundant means it's no longer required, it's no longer necessary. But in the context that we're using here, in our usage here, redundant is the repetition of the same sense in different words. So the fancy word for that is pleonastic. That's too fancy for me. That I'd stick with redundant. Okay, let's stick with redundant. Again, it's repetition of same sense in different words. Now, I have a few examples here for you. The first one is revert back. Just a reminder, the phrases here are not necessarily errors. They're not grammatically incorrect. They're not grammar mistakes, but we're talking about redundancies here, meaning the words that are no longer necessary, like revert back. You see, the phrase revert back is not only a common thing that Filipinos say. Even native speakers, I notice, actually probably 90% of native speakers that I have heard say this phrase, right? Revert back. Now, why is it redundant? It's because when you revert, you actually go back to the previous state. Okay, you go back to the previous state. So you already have the word back there in the definition. Now, let's say let's add back here in the definition. So this is how it's going to look like. Revert back means to go back to a previous state back. See how it's see the redundancy there? So if it's revert, the definition is to go back to a previous state. But when you say revert back, then you would have to add the word back there in the definition, because you have the word back. Go back to a previous state back, right? So that's incorrect. Well, not necessarily incorrect, but again, redundant. Makes it sound awkward. Let's have a sentence here. As you can see, the word back there is stricken through. There's a strike through. The school reverted back to its old rules. Okay, so that's redundant. The correct one would be the school reverted to its old rules. It means that the school returned to using its old rules. Another common redundant word combination is the phrase reply back. So you probably get the idea now, okay? Why is reply back redundant? Because when you reply, you respond. It already conveys the idea of getting back to someone with a reply. It's the same thing with answer back, right? And the same is true of answer back. So when you reply, you're already conveying the idea of getting back to someone. So when you say reply back, that is a redundancy. Let's have a sentence also for this one. So they still haven't replied back to our email. So we've circled through the word back there. And the better sentence would be, again, I'm not saying the correct sentence, but the better sentence would be, they still haven't replied to our email. Okay? So, next one, reiterate again. Reiterate again. Now, why is this redundant? Because when you define reiterate, it means to say something again, or to state something again, or even perform again. Okay? So, if we say reiterate again, then the definition would be to say, state, or perform again. Okay? I'm sorry, to say, state, or perform again. Right? So that's redundant. Matter of fact, now this now becomes an error. Okay, let's have a sentence here. The clients reiterated again their request for new sheets. So that's a redundancy. So the word again is stricken through. The correct one, or the better one, would be the clients reiterated their request for new sheets. All right, here's another one. Other alternatives. You know what? This is actually something that I'm also prone to committing. This particular redundancy. Okay, other alternatives. So why is this redundant? Because when you say alternative or alternatives, this is one of a number of things from which only one can be chosen, or it can be options or choices, meaning it's other than what's being chosen. So that's the alternative. So other than. So therefore, if you add other before alternatives, that's a redundancy. Let's have a sentence here. So can you suggest other alternatives to the class president's choice? So we get a strike through for the word other. The better sentence would be, can you suggest alternatives to the class president's choice? Okay. Here's another common redundant word combination. Actually, two of them, because so many speakers of English actually use these phrases regularly. So adequate enough and sufficient enough. So why are these phrases redundant? Why are they redundant word combinations? It's because when you say adequate, it also means enough. When you say sufficient, it also means enough. You probably see that red line. I don't know, it's probably too small, but you see the red lines below or under the phrases. That's Microsoft Office's way of saying that this is a grammar. It's an error. Okay, so if I right click on that, it would actually tell me. Say it says there at the top, more concise language should be clear for your reader. So it only suggests adequate or sufficient. Correct? So let's have a sentence. Her explanation is sufficient or adequate enough. So strike through goes to the word enough. The correct sentence would the better sentence rather would be, her explanation is sufficient or her explanation is adequate. The last phrase or redundant word combination that we have here is true fact. I mean, of course, if it's a fact, that means it's true. A false fact would be an oxymoron, right? It's a contradiction in terms. So true fact is actually redundant. So the sentence is, you should report only true facts. I mean, you can't have false facts, right? If it's a fact, then therefore it's true. So the better sentence would be, you should report only facts. And there we go. Redundant word combinations. I hope this topic was useful to you. If you liked it, please give it a like, and you'll be kind enough to also share it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. That would really help the channel. And I think with the setup that I have now, and especially with the software the new software that I have, I think I'll be uploading more videos soon. Okay, so the videos will no longer be few and far between. I promise you that. Okay, so the last one again was in April of 2019. That's not gonna happen again. That 1 year and I don't know 9-month distance between the uploads certainly won't happen again. Okay, so thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one.